Now I want you to think about serving your church. Your church is kind of like your anchor stone. Hopefully you have a home church. If not, make that your priority this year. Having a home church and a body of believers to worship with is critical to being able to grow. I know there's a lot of Lone Rangers out there. I know there's a lot of people who think that it's okay to not be plugged into a church, but I don't agree. Be plugged into a local body of believers. It's always okay to grow listening to other teachings, but you're never going to grow more than when you're sitting around with people discussing scriptures. We went through a period of time without having a home church, and it is one of the most difficult things to do and maintain being a believer. It's something I think that is critical to everyone. God doesn't want you to be alone. He put you in a body of Christ. He doesn't want you to be the whole body. He wants people to be there to serve you and people for you to serve. So figure out, first find your local church. If you already have your local church, awesome. Figure out how to serve them. Our church actually had a handout in the bulletin this year that you could fill out. How are you going to serve God this year? And you can hand it to the church, whether it's something that you see a need that needs to be filled or a job that's already open. And it goes beyond just working in the nursery. It's who's going to clean floors? Who's going to help repaint? Who's going to mow the lawn? Who's going to help the shut-ins? How are you going to work with the food pantry? How are you going to work with Bible studies? All of these different things were on these sheets, things that you don't always think of. How are you going to help decorate for holidays? How are you going to serve the pastor and his family? How are you going to relieve burdens off of other people? I watched a great sermon one time that I think it was actually Mark Driscoll who said, raise your hand if you serve the church. And people raised their hands, and he said it was about 20% of the audience. And he said, okay, the other 80% of you, you're killing these people. Why are you not doing anything? Get up and serve and do something. Serving and giving your church goes beyond writing out your tithe. It goes to actually serving. Don't kill the few people in the church who are serving. Go and relieve some of their burdens and find something to do. Just because a job is being done doesn't mean that it's not a burden to somebody. Go and say, hey, can I relieve some of your burden? Yes, there are things that I need to be done. You know, it's kind of like if somebody walked into my home and said, can I serve you? I have plenty of jobs that I can give them that can help me grow in other areas. It's not that just because those needs are being met doesn't mean they can't be met by you. There's still opportunities. So figure out how to serve your church this year. Figure out ways for your children to serve the church this year. That's a critical and important thing to teaching them how to truly be the hands and feet of Christ, is going on and being the hands and feet of Christ with them. Share the gospel with them. So go and serve the church, grow the church, invite people to your church. That's also an important thing. So that would be your next thing, is figure out how you can serve your local body of believers this year.